Hi guys, this is going to be an analysis video for the 4th tier of mage talents for a raiding mage. So, we're going to run through a few things about what each of these is kind of doing, and when you'd use them, why you'd use them, and which one you're probably going to end up picking most of the time. So, Cold Snap is basically going to allow you to do another iceblock. So you can do another pure immune, complete immune. You can basically, because of the cooldown of it, do one immune every 3 minutes. Okay, so every 3 minutes you can use an ice block. Great invisibility is a massive damage reduction plus threat drop on a 2.5 minute cooldown. And Cauterize is a passive ability, 2 minutes cooldown, where you just will not die. Something that will hit you will mean you just live. So, we'll run through them starting with Ice Block. So if you think about the sort of things that Ice Block is actually useful for, that the other two can't do better. Because if you think about it, Cold Snap, Ice Block every 3 minutes, these ones have shorter cooldowns. So whatever these two can do is better than Cold Snap, because you can do it more often. So the things that you're looking for with Ice Block are debuffs mainly, or things that you can make go away if you do it. So for example, Valiona, some of the debuffs on Valiona fight, you can Ice Block them off and just flat out get rid of them. Omnitron, if you get the red beam, you can flat out get rid of that. Meloriac, if you get stuck in the Ice Block thing, you can get rid of that. And on Heroic Spine of Deathwing, you can get rid of the grips, which are quite dangerous. Most of the time you probably won't take Cold Snap. Like I say, it's mainly for getting rid of debuffs, and that's about it. The health restore is kind of meaningless. You know, it doesn't feel like it has much of a reason to be there apart from for PvP. It sounds like an advantage that you can use it while stunned, frozen, incapacitated, but it's kind of not. If you think about it, what's going to happen is, say for example you used your Ice Block and you saved your Cold Snap for the heal, all that you're going to do is make your Ice Block take longer to be used a second time round. So what's the point in that? So yeah, the invisibility one is the actual weakest out of the three. For a while I thought it would be the second strongest, but it feels like it's going to be the weakest. The only what invisibility is going to do is it's going to make you be able to soak big strong abilities, but Cauterize can do that every 2 minutes. Invisibility can only do it every 2.5 minutes. And it will also make you be able to skip a few abilities. There is one gimmicky thing that I've thought of that I can do it for. So the only fight regularly that I can think that would work on is Omnitron Heroic or Omnitron Normal, where you get the red beam and you can invisibility and the red beam will go away. If I remember right, it was the red beam. No, it's the arcane debuff, I think. He puts it on you and then you start exploding, but you can invisibility and it doesn't do anything. So yeah, that's what the invisibility can be used for. The only other reason I could think of using it in any raid tier at the moment is on Beth in Firelands, the spider boss, because then you can stay upstairs, everyone else goes down, you invis. I think it actually got fixed though, so you can't do it. This is what you would be able to do in the past though, and then you could invis, and then you're taking 90% reduced damage while she hits you, then you throw up mirror image so that she can't hit you anyway, then your tank gets back up. You can't do that anymore, but that's something that you could have done. The only advantage Invis has over Cauterize is, say for example you were on Algalon, and on Algalon it was your job to soak the big bangs. If you picked Cauterize and Cauterize procs before the big bang, you're in deep shit. You now can't soak. So the advantage of greater invisibility over cauterize is if you're in danger of proccing cauterize at times where you don't want to, and you have to proc it at certain times, then greater invisibility is better. The majority of the time though, on pretty much every boss, you will take cauterize. The reason being is because this requires, Cold Snap requires 2 button presses, one for Ice Block, one for Cold Snap. Obviously Cold Snap isn't a global cooldown, but Ice Block bloody well is, and you get stuck into that damn thing as well. Plus hell, you've got an Ice Block every 5 minutes anyway. Ice Block every 5 minutes only reduces the cooldown by 2 minutes, so it's not huge. It's kinda weak. In fact, it's very, very weak for raiding. Greater invisibility. I've forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, greater invisibility, you have to actively press a button and go into stealth and out of stealth. So that's probably going to take you roughly 1 to 2 seconds worth of damage time you're going to drop by using that. Cauterize, on the other hand, is a passive ability. So on any regular boss where you don't really need to soak anything, you will pick cauterize. Because if shit goes bad, it will cover it for you without you having to think. Cold Snap, if shit goes bad, you have to press a button. Greater invisibility, if shit goes bad, you're gonna have to press a button. Cauterize, if shit goes bad, it will just do it for you. You don't have to press anything, you don't have to think, you don't have to plan. So if shit goes bad, cauterize is your go-to one. If you have to specifically soak something, cauterize is still going to be usually the one that you're going to pick, because you can use it every 2 minutes, and again, you don't drop DPS by using it. So now we're starting to build up a little bit of a cookie cutter so-called raiding spec, which would consist of, if you've watched the previous videos, we're now at the point where we're like, well, we're mostly going to take ice floors, we're mostly going to take temporal shield, but a few times we're going to take ice barrier. These ones don't really matter. Depending on how frost jaw ends up working, you might take that, but probably more likely ring of frost. But this middle ones, tier 3, don't matter, and you're probably going to take cauterize. So we're starting to build up a bit of a cookie cutter raiding spec, as much as Blizzard will hate me for saying that. So thanks for watching, and the next video will be about bombs. I know you all like that.